Today we're covering Naked Gun from 1988, dude.
Everyone should have a friend like you.
He's yelling at the guy and he's like, yeah, Ludwig has a message for you.
I'm sorry I can't hear you. Don't fire the gun while you're talking.
Played by Ricardo Montalbán.
Four, three, two, one.
Cue music. I'm Lieutenant Frank Drebin, Police Squad. And don't ever let me catch you guys in America.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to VCon Let's Rewind, the nostalgia podcast no one asked for. Today we're covering Naked Gun. From 1988, dude.
Yeah, from the Files of the Police Squad.
That's
is like
right,
the,
dude.
Is the official title from the...
So before we get started, if you're back with us, first time, whatever, hit the like button, subscribe button, or Shadwick will find you. That is exactly what happens. We've tried to be nice about this, and we're no longer being nice. Hit the like button. It's mandatory. If you don't do it, bad things will happen to kittens. Anyway,
I'll find you.
So in this one, man, Leaf, I know that our parents, when we were little, I think we went together to see Naked Gun 2 and 33 and a third. Yes. I remember us seeing both of those in theaters, but I was a network television for this one, which there were so many jokes as a kid that went over my head, man. So Shadow, where do you first remember seeing this one, dude?
I don't know, man. This was not one of my favorites, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. I've talked about it before. Like, my dad was just not into like slapstick comedy. And I know this is not really slapstick.
No, it's slapstick. I mean, it's in there,
but it's very like cleverly done, though. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of like, double entendres and
dude.
Like if you can like listen to it and not. It's the physical comedy, I think, that kind of turns me off.
Okay, I got you. If this is one of those movies that if you can watch this movie 5 times in a row and still not catch every joke, it's so freaking rapid fire, man. Leaf, what about you? Is your family like big into Naked Gun? I think you said they're big Leslie Nielsen fans.
Yeah, my father and mother were big Leslie Nielsen fans, and they loved the Naked Gun. I'm not really aware or not if they like the TV show, which we'll talk about more before, or a little bit later. But yeah, they loved the Naked Gun. Every time it was on TV, we'd watch it like as a family, like just like yours. Yeah. And dude, yeah, we loved it. I mean, as a kid, I loved the physical comedy, like obviously more because all the other jokes just went over my head. And I don't know how much of this is edited out for TV, but
there probably had to be a pretty good amount, man. But I mean, it's a freaking all-star cast. That'll just go ahead and take us over to it's the fucking editing truck again. They're at it again. I don't know what they're doing in that production truck for BCon Let's Rewind. They're just
nothing good. I can tell you that.
Must be big fans of William Shatner, dude.
I guess, man. Which we'll get to the con reference anyway.
William Shatner britches.
Shatner britches, as Brian Ballard said. Voodoo Ranger, Juicy Haze IPA. Delicious. And as we said before, IPAs help prevent Alzheimer's with zero research done by us on that, but I read it one time on a headline. So just doing my best to keep my brain sharp, man. Leaf, what do you got, dude?
Dude, today I'm gonna I've been working a lot, so I'm gonna be staying awake with a little black coffee infused with the fresh scent and aroma of bourbon, and nothing kicks that up like real bourbon.
There you go. Nice.
Thank you, Buffalo Trace. Thank you.
All right, Shadwick, what do you got, man?
Well, I kind of wish I had some coffee now because I have the salted caramel.
Oh, dude, that would be great.
Man, that would be even better, dude.
So good.
Old Smoky, dude. I love that one too.
Dude, that is good, man. So Also wanted to shout out our new rewinder of the month. Leaf, coming from your camp, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That's right. One of the good friend that I've known for a real long time, and avid listener, dude. Avid listener. So shout out to Rob Rader, my boy, dude. Robert, dude.
Rob, swag is inbound via the USPS system, so it'll probably be there in June of next year. But yeah, shout out our USPS guys. Anyway, let's go ahead and get over into the topic. Naked Gun. Leaf, go ahead and kick us off with some boring ass facts.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, for the uninitiated, the Naked Gun, also known as Police Squad,
there it is.
is a what's that glurking sound?
Shadow's had a rough day, man. All he wanted, dude, he's had a rough week. We've all kind of had a rough week. All he wanted was a glass of Bosco and to slide in between his sheets.
It was almost midnight when I got to my door. I just wanted a glass of Bosco and then slip under my blankets.
That's all he wanted,
I
man.
can't blame him, dude. I'm right there with him, dude. We'll slide in together, Shadow's later. Don't worry about it.
Anyway, man, go ahead.
Just don't kick me in your sleep.
Nothing to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
So the Naked Gun, also known as Police Squad, is basically, according to Wikipedia, a media franchise consisting of several American crime spoof comedies created by the comedy filmmaker trio Zucker, Abrams, and Zucker.
And I promise this is not going to be like Caddyshack. We're not going to dive into this, but one quick shout out to our Airplane episode, because we did cover these guys in pretty good depth in the Airplane episode. But Leaf,
we did.
Let's go ahead and stop here. Let's talk about the Police Squad. Why this was what it was. What was Police Squad?
Yeah, so Police Squad is an American crime comedy television series. It was broadcast on ABC in 1982, believe it or not, and was created, of course, by David Zucker, Jim Abrams, and Jerry Zucker, the comedy trio responsible, like Chris said, for Airplane, The Naked Gun, and I believe
Kentucky Fried Movie.
Movie.
So if David heard you right now, he may or may not correct you and say it's Zucker.
Really?
Yeah, I heard him in an interview. But the guy asked him like point blank, is it Zucker or Zucker? He goes, it is Zucker. So maybe he'll get it wrong.
I was going to say, I've seen so many interviews. In his book, they called him David Zucker, that they're like doing the audio on. So,
he was like, oh God.
Well, maybe he was just punking somebody then.
Yeah, dude. I don't know, man. But yeah, so after the success of Airplane, they got the Police Squad show, which again, yes. I assume Leslie Nielsen returned for that, right?
Yeah, they did. They had a whole cast. They wanted to make another spoof film like Airplane after that, after the success of that. And they used the television series, if y'all remember this one, M Squad, as basis for their spoof for this, like
much like with show. Airplane, they had a primary movie that was the spoof for Airplane. So
yes, and that they riffed off of.
I remember Mod Squad.
But it was lacking, unfortunately. It was lacking an overarching plot. So Paramount Pictures.
It ain't so.
Yeah, right. All right. All right. There's weaknesses. Okay, here.
No, this movie, I feel like they finally corrected that. There's a plot in this. This follows a solid plot. Airplane was kind of the gags are primary, the plot is secondary. But this, I feel they did a lot better on this one.
Zucker, Abrams, and Zucker weren't or Zaz, as Wikipedia calls them. Why? Like you're right. We're big on plot, and they sort of carried in, and Paramount President Michael Eisner instead of giving them a movie we got eventually, they gave them a TV show, and which secured them 6 episodes. And nice. But they always wanted to make a film, but they cut these, and I'm telling you, if you like the Naked Gun, for the fans of the Naked Gun,
I gotta go find these. Yeah,
you've got to go watch them. There's some hilarious gags.
I don't want to answer any more of your questions.
We're sorry to bother you at a time like this, Mrs. Twice. We would have come earlier, but your husband wasn't dead then.
But the network hated it because, just like the Dana Carvey show, They didn't even get to air the last episode.
They only aired like what 4 of the 6, I think.
I think 5.
Okay,
maybe.
They shut it. Yeah, they shut it down and didn't even get its final episode,
which is crazy because it's like, again, like we talked about before, these are like sketch comedy dudes. Like in the Airplane episode I talked about in their book, they started off as like Kentucky Fried Theater, and then they made that into Kentucky. They had nobody on the inside that was like, hey, this is how the industry works. These are what plots are. They were just funny fucking dudes.
You're right. It follows a formula, because the formula basically is every new scene is a new sketch.
Right.
It's like watching a Saturday Night Live, but every sketch is like it sort of have a loosely tying plot.
Kind of like Caddyshack last week, right? You know, we talked about how the Gopher finally tied that together, but I feel like doing the deep dive on Airplane, doing the deep dive on Naked Gun holds up so much better as an actual movie.
It does.
With the plot, and the gags, of course, are non-freaking stop. But like, I did find out too, man, that they wanted Bo Derek for the female lead in this. Her name just keeps popping up in everything we're doing. Apparently, she was obviously smoking hot, but
she was a
very
vixen.
Sought after quite a bit back in the day for roles, and she was just passing them up sometimes. So
I think David, if you ask him now, would say that he was happy that he got Priscilla, because he said that he had to give her no direction as far as acting. A lot of the people, they were trying to give like a little nod, a little wink to the camera,
right?
Because they were playing it straight, but then trying to like break the fourth wall, or trying to make people realize that they're being funny. And he said that she just got it like from the beginning.
Yeah, she actually was afraid. Same thing as kind of like they did with Leslie Nielsen, of course, became the master. Also, we can't really go much further without shouting out our boy Seth MacFarlane. His new Naked Gun is going to be out, I believe, when this episode drops, or the next day it's coming out. Go see that with Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson, Seth MacFarlane have worked together on several fucking things. Dude, that Taken shit from Ted 2.
Okay, I'm going to bring these back to my apartment.
Yeah, you'll be okay.
I won't be followed.
No, that's not in our budget here.
That's not in a budget.
Well, since you brought it up, David Zucker talked about how he pitched a sequel, or a part 4, basically, and he never heard anything back from the studio. Like, they reached out to him initially, I think, and he had a script ready, sent it in, and apparently this script is fucking hilarious from everything that I've heard about it. But
Really?
but then the studio just like never got back with him, and next thing you know, like this movie popped up.
Yeah,
a trailer popped up, and he knew nothing about it, so he's not
really
involved at all.
I thought they were definitely going to be involved, because I know like Seth MacFarlane's a fan of theirs. So
yeah, he said that they wanted to take it up a notch. Like, they didn't want to, because Leslie Nielsen wouldn't be in it. They wanted to go like another route. All these movies, they just took like all those old cop shows, Dragnet, all that stuff, and
Maxwell Smart.
They would get all those tropes, and that's how they would write these movies. They would just like just pull out all those stereotypical things that you see in those and just make fun of it.
Yep, and that's what they did with the Airplane. I forgot what the movie was called, but in Airplane, they literally were like scene for scene, parodying that movie, and that's how Airplane came to be.
So this one was going to be based on Mission Impossible.
Okay,
so I think it was going to be called like Naked Impossible or something. He said the first title that he wanted to use was Nordberg Did It.
Yeah, he's got a couple of funny OJ jokes in the book, but the original title was going to be Police Squad, but a little movie called Police Academy was out, and the studio was like, let's not, because I think they were on Police Academy 3 at that point, out of the 450
it was
sequels
an established franchise.
Another one that they did that I can't find that I really would like to check out was called HUD. It's basically
like hideously ugly dick.
No,
exactly like that.
No, like the government agency HUD.
Okay, I got you. Yeah,
because they like all the like NSA, CIA, FBI, all all those companies were getting like a bad rap. So,
Mm-hmm.
so they're doing everything under HUD.
Gotcha.
And Steve Carell was in that.
Damn.
And it was another one that they made and it just like never got released.
Jesus. Yeah, we got to do some digging, man. Leaf, go ahead and round us off. Hit us with the box office numbers and then let's jump into it.
Oh, well, one final thing on the TV show. It started to gain immense popularity through reruns on cable TV. That's how they ended up getting, popular
6 years
enough to...
6 later is when this one came out. So
6 years later, when people had seen enough Police Squad and saw how really good it was when it just didn't get canceled. Evidently, it was popular when it was released. It's kind of a mystery to a lot of people as why. I don't know if there was some internal stuff there as why the show just never got its last run, but evidently it was really popular and it got more popular. And so this movie obviously was released, like you said, 6 years later. It was made for a budget of $12 million and grossed a paltry sum of $78,756,000.
And actually, a little stupid trivia for you if you're ever in trivia night. You know who originally had the idea for reruns? Old Ricky Ricardo from Lucy Show.
Really?
Yep. He was talking about putting stuff in syndication. Everybody thought he was fucking nuts, and he made some money off of that.
Ricky.
Yeah.
It's like I tell you what, you just give me the money for all the reruns.
Yeah. Why does he just sound like Scarface? He's like, okay, give me all the money for all the reruns. I call you in the morning.
You motherfucker.
Give Lucy a couple of quaaludes.
No, I can't unhear that. I'm ruined, dude.
Yeah, same
I'll
here.
never
Thanks, we're here to enlighten everybody. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the opening scene here.
Absolutely, man. Opening scene takes place in Beirut. It even tells you so, like on the screen as the title pops up. You've got the Middle Eastern music playing. And I just out of the gate, this film is just stupid immediately. They don't waste any time.
No, dude.
Just like in Airplane with the scene where they're at the airport.
There's just no stopping in a white zone.
Oh, really, Vernon? Why pretend? We both know perfectly well what it is you're talking about. You want me to have an abortion.
And it's just nonsense straight from the get-go.
Yeah.
We're in the same situation. Lieutenant Frank Drebin, played by Leslie Nielsen, infiltrates a secret meeting in Beirut where America's worst enemies at the top are having a meeting, including Muammar Gaddafi, Idi Amin, Yasser Arafat, Fidel Castro. Like, they're just throwing them all.
And they all have like little weird, like Gorbachev is there, but they have like
Mikhail Gorbachev.
I think Arafat has that button that says "Hello, my name is Arafat" or whatever. Like you're at a fucking like business meeting.
So that was one physical comedy thing that got me when he's trying to wipe off the the birthmark on Gorbachev's head.
Yeah, and he
like,
does.
And he's like,
I knew it.
Like that was another one too, Shadow. I don't know why. When I went back and watched this, like that got me hard. I don't know like why I laughed so fucking hard.
Gross.
At
that. Everybody had just couldn't stand looking at it back then. Everybody couldn't stand looking at it back then.
I know,
dude.
same.
It was so
weird. It was weird,
man.
dude. Yeah,
He had a big. I mean, it was not like a normal birthmark. It was massive, dude.
Yeah.
And he was balding in the perfect spot, so it was his hair covered none of it.
Uncle Bub's like, here, take this quarter, then I'll have a rat shoot that thing off your head.
Off your face,
not me. I was
dude.
like Austin Powers with like a long stick, and I was like, mole. Can't stop looking at the bloody mole.
I want to chop it off, cut it up, and make guacamole.
But this, I mean, again, like Leaf said, it's just nonsense. It's a great little intro that segues over. I got a couple of notes into this. So he, don't let me ever catch you in America. And then he takes off, and then the fucking title music starts playing, and it's what they used to do on these cop shows where you just see the siren, it's driving down the street.
This was the intro to Police Squad.
Oh, it was? Okay.
They did this in the television show.
Okay.
And they just carried it over. So it was so beautiful for me to like finally go back and watch some of the old episodes.
That's awesome.
And see it. They would do the same thing. Of course, this one was a little more over the top of the television
It goes
show.
on for like a couple of minutes, but it's not like where you're like, Jesus, end it. It's like it keeps getting more and more absurd. So like, they're going through stores, they're going through, and what I did have a note here, when they go through the house and the dude like dives out of the way, that's one of the Zucker brothers. That's
nice.
one of those.
Go through a women's locker room.
Yeah, dude, with you almost get your booby shot, like you're almost. But I was like, it's just following this. So, Family Guy, like I said, Seth MacFarlane's a big fan. They parodied this entire intro on Family Guy one time.
It's so funny, man. But that's it. It's just like you see the top of a police car. The camera's like seated on top of the police car with a light, flashing light, and the police siren. And then, like Chris said, you're on the street when you first start, but then you just start going through like people's houses and like
places a car won't fit. Yeah,
you can't even get in there, man. It's so stupid.
Yeah, it's outfitted with a GoPro.
Yeah, dude, it's so fucking funny though. Well, this one got me out loud several times on this. Like, I watched this with some friends, and we were like,
the roller coaster."
Yeah. I mean, like the whole thing. Like when you're watching this, it's good when you can go back to a movie that was comedy from 1988 and 2025, and it's still just as, if not fucking funnier than it was back then. Like that's just great fucking timeless writing.
That's a rare one. And to give Chadwick his props, I mean, I really do feel like if you're not like a physical, like goofy comedy, if you don't really into like one-liners and non sequiturs and double entendres
type stuff,
you're not like Three Stooges type stuff in a way. There's some smarter comedy in there too, but
which is weird because I love the Three Stooges.
Really?
Yeah, I do too. Man, I love.
But there is some slapstick where you're like, okay, like let's fucking wrap it up.
And you know what? My dad loved the Three Stooges also.
Really? That's weird.
Yeah.
I feel like the people that I've talked about this film, and I think this intro really like sort of like hammers that in. Like if you're not into this movie really by these first two scenes, like
if you're not laughing, you probably should leave.
It's probably not for you, and I accept that, and I'm okay with that. Like I don't argue with people that don't like this film. I respect your opinion because I realize certain comedy is not for me either. Y'all don't want to know what I hate. Like you don't want to know. I will lose fans. So
I don't know. The Beirut scene seemed like they were going pretty hard to me. Like I thought it kind of calmed down a little bit. I mean, you have that, then you have the intro with the squad car, but then like when it gets to this next scene we're going to talk about, it kind of calms down a little bit.
It does, and I think you get smarter dialogue too.
Yeah,
because obviously there's really not much dialogue in the first. All of it's action in the beginning because they're hooking you. They're hooking you from the start, and then like you kind of get a peer into their comedic dialogue, which is hilarious, man. But you do get to the cops, of course, after it goes to the women's locker room, a fucking roller coaster, like Chadwick said, which that one got me out loud pretty good. And then, going through a house, and they finally enter the donut shop where a dozen donuts, $1.99.
$1.99. What have they taken from us, dude? For a dozen donuts.
I don't know, man.
Gross,
this country used to be great.
Used to be.
but then we start this next scene, and you got this black guy creeping around in the dark.
Yeah,
like he's going to jump out of the bushes and slit somebody's throat or something.
I know you would think that, and that's actually Officer Nordberg, as we find out, played by O.J. Simpson.
Well, in a questionable move by the defense team this week, O.J. Simpson demonstrated how to stab two people at the same time.
We find out he's a cop. He's not a robber. Ironically, right?
Yeah, he's on the right side of the law here.
For now. And the operation takes place on a ship or a boat. And he tries to stop the drug deal from going down, and he kicks the door open. His foot goes through the door, and all the like bad guys like pull out the guns. He's outgunned, outnumbered, and they're waiting for him. And he's just struggling to open the door.
Dude, fucking Lunchbox there's a walking calamity.
The human brown out here is a walking calamity.
So the one interview that I listened to with David Zucker was talking about the guy asked him about OJ. He's like, why did you decide to go with him? And he goes, well, look, I'll answer that question, but then this is all I want to say about OJ. Celebrity athletes were a good way to go because you could get them kind of on the cheap.
Yeah, very cheap.
And they had some notoriety, so people
like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in Airplane.
Exactly. But he said that he wasn't the greatest actor. He said his acting was kind of like his murdering, like he got away with it, but nobody really believed it.
And OJ didn't help his case any by blurting out, "There it is, I've been looking all over for that thing."
Yeah.
Yeah. In the book, he said that he said the same thing. Like, he was like, yeah, I really haven't kept in touch with OJ. He was like, he asked to borrow some of my knives, and then I never really heard from him again.
that was the other thing he told that guy. He's like, I really haven't seen him. Like, I saw him at the premiere, and he bought my knife collection, and that was the last I ever heard of him.
Yeah, that sounds like Jesus Christ, man. So anyway, this scene is Slapstick personified, which actually is a good way to hide somebody that can't act. All you got to do is have him react. But I mean, he steps through the door. One of the guys is funny as shit. He does drop the gun, and then everybody looks at him like, "What the fuck, man? There's like 9 of us with guns, and you just dropped your gun." So he's like, "Drop your weapon," and he listens.
Right. But then we get our first foreshadowing moment when out of the shadows walks Vincent Ludwig, which we don't know his name just yet, played by Ricardo Montalbán.
Dude, which actually leads me over to shit stuck in my head this week.
I like how he's not even in the clip. It's the worst one.
Can you guys just go ahead and tell that story real quick, please, about Con?
So when we worked, it's in one of our older episodes, but when we worked at the movie theater, me and Leaf were there, and one of the Star Trek movies had just come out, like one of the ones like in late 90s, early 2000s, and these two nerds were fucking chopping it up about Star Wars, which was fine. We were fucking nerds too.
Star Trek.
Yeah. And so anyway, this dude goes and they're talking about the Wrath of Khan. And then all of a sudden one of the guys, he's like talking about his favorite movie or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I mean, Khan was a hard ass though. And then like me and Leaf were like, what the fuck did we just hear? So anytime anyone says the name Khan, whether in reference to this or whatever, Genghis doesn't fucking matter. We'll just be like, yeah, well, Khan's a hard ass.
Shadow, will you please make us a Khan was a hard ass shirt with Ricardo Montalbán on it? And can you please can you have him wearing the Fantasy Island suit, but then his head is a Cleon?
we can debut him at the Chattacon.
Yeah, Chattacon in September, so come check us out there. But this after you
Chatta.
Nice. I hear that Khan's a hard ass. But yeah, man. So anyway, they start blasting by the direction of their boss,
the plane guy.
And this whole fucking sequence is just absurd. He hits his head. He puts his hand on a fucking wood-burning stove. He burns it. The one that got me is he leans into a wet paint sign on a door, and he just goes, "Oh no!" Like he's been shot, and he's worried that he got paint on his like fucking stabbing clothes.
That's the one part right there is when I started losing it, because I've been laughing before, but that one I nearly had to pause it.
It's that audio. Oh no!
He's shot multiple times, dude. He's injured, and he leans in. He's like, and he looks in his sleep first. He's like, "Oh no!" He's dying.
He's worried about the wet paint sign.
But they're all watching him too, like fumble around, and he finally like falls out the back door and off the pier and into the water. And you assume, obviously, after all of that, he's clearly dead.
Yeah,
right.
Which I thought too. Okay, so maybe this doesn't make the final cut on this episode, but maybe he thought from this movie experience the human body can take a lot. So maybe he just took it too far. His comedy too far.
He knew from experience.
He was like, if I get beat up and shot, it's funny. Let's see if I cut someone's.
After grisly photos of the murdered Nicole Brown Simpson were shown in court, OJ turned his head away and wept. It was at that moment that he realized he would never be able to kill her again.
So after that horrific scene, Frank Drebin lands on a tarmac fresh from Beirut, and there's
he was vacationing apparently, as he says.
We do find out in a minute. He explains that he was on vacation in Beirut,
just beating up the world's fucking evil terrorist leaders. That's his vacation.
And so, like, as he lands, the crowd is gathered, which he assumes it's for him after his heroic acts, and they're all casually gather around, and there's like a podium for him to like speak at. Just like he's also unfortunately greeted by Captain Ed Hawken, played by George Kennedy,
dude, who I also freaking love. He's so good in this. His reactionary comedy in this is so fucking funny.
Dude. He is excellent, and he informs Frank, unfortunately, that his wife has left him and married another man, and he's of course distraught. That's the reason he was in Beirut, to try to like get his head together around it, but she's already left him for someone else. And Frank asks Captain Hawken,
"What about the guy? You know anything about him?"
Not much. Just that he's an Olympic gymnast, and it's the best sex she's ever had.
Like, it just keeps getting worse. He also does this thing where he thinks that the press is there for them, so he gives a speech about like, is this what you guys wanted? Like, you know, and he's like just running the press down, and they're like, actually Weird Al's on the plane. Which, fun fact, I didn't know this, Weird Al is in all 3 of these Naked Gun movies. He makes a cameo in all of them. Yeah, shout out our boy John T. He told me that today.
Shout out, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, man. He said all 3 of them. Weird Al made a cameo, which I guess Abrams and Zucker brothers found out he was a fan and reached out to him, and because he was a fan of Airplane, and then bada bing.
UHF is literally should be an offshoot of like one of these movies.
Oh, no shit, man.
Yeah, dude. We got to do that one sometime. That's one of my personal favorites, man. But yes. He does. The crowd is not gathered for Frank. They're gathered for Weird Al.
After he gets the best sex she's ever had, though, he does the gag of backing up into the luggage, which I love these gags where he backs up in the luggage, and and then they're driving back to the police precinct. Like he's got to be informed about Nordberg and all that shit's going on. And then you look, and he's actually backed up into the luggage carrier and had that in tow from the airport back to the fucking police station.
Falls and latches onto his car. And he
just driving with it the entire time.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like in the background when Frank comes off of the plane, like, and he's talking to Captain Ed Hawken, the people getting the luggage are flinging it onto like the tarmac, and just it's falling.
Which is what I mean. In these movies, you can watch them so many fucking times, and you don't see that the first time through.
Never seen
probably
that before.
The 4th or 5th time through.
Yes,
those are the same people that lost your seat when we went to Tampa.
Oh my god, they just brought my chair out all raw, like,
and they're like, is this chair okay, Mr. IMAX?
I'm like, why don't you let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. IMAX.
Like, where my seat at? All right. But after,
so he goes to go to the hospital now, right? Is that where he's headed? So
they immediately, he finds out through his friend Captain,
because Nordberg's his partner, and
Nordberg. We find out too at the same time when Frank does. Nordberg survived his horrible assault, and he's on life support. And so Frank goes immediately. I think it was his partner or his ex-partner for a long time. Right. Nordberg was. And so while he was on vacation, Frank feels bad because his friend nearly got killed, and he goes to visit him, of course, like Chris said, and he tries to question Nordberg, and so begins the gag. I guess you could argue it started on the boat, but this is like friendly fire damage where they just. Like Frank and Tilly just beats Nordberg to death.
Nordberg, it's me, Frank, your buddy.
Dude,
it hurts him constantly.
And again, like you said about the acting with OJ, you don't really have to have acting in this. All he's doing is reacting to the bed doubling up, like, and falling on like an oxygen tube or like whatever. It's just nonstop. But even through all this too, though, like, Nordberg's trying to tell him what happens, and this double meaning shit are the jokes that get me like every fucking time, where he's like, I love you. Then like Frank looks around, he's like, I love you too. And then he's like, drugs. And he's like, get this man some drugs. And the nurse like comes up
and he's like, no. And she like checks him, and he's just like,
he's like about to pass out. He's like, heroin. And he's like, you have to give me a couple days on that one. Like Leslie Nielsen's deadpan shit on this is fucking priceless.
So good.
He didn't want to leave his buddy hanging,
Yeah, I know. Dude.
No,
I'm ever in there, dude.
Man.
Fucking take me on Mr. Brownstone.
I think only Nordberg only has like one or two lines, I think, at the very end, right?
Yeah.
And so the rest of his lines are, oh no. It's so funny to me. The next part is so good too.
Yeah.
His wife, Nordberg's wife, is like distraught and really upset because, of course, her husband's on life support. She's like, who would do this? And Frank, played again by Leslie Nielsen, cannot freaking stop. Like,
this is no way for a man to die. Like a parachute not opening from a skydive, that's a way to die. Or like,
saying insensitive shit to upset her,
like,
dude.
Oh, like she's just screaming and squealing every time he says some shit.
As soon as Nordberg is better, he's welcome back at Police Squad.
Unless he's a drooling vegetable. But I think that's only common sense.
Yeah.
Remember when you could call people that? Like,
you still can. We do it on Be Kind, Let's Rewind all the time. So
like and subscribe, baby.
But you do find out that his partner deciphers the I love you and the drugs and everything. They're like, oh shit, there's a boat called I Love You down at the harbor. So now they're gonna go. I think they do go back to I guess this is after the press briefing, right? But I did want to mention one joke because I'm gonna fucking forget about it. And they had this in Airplane. They had this in like all theirs. When they had the floating body outline chalk in the fucking water, it's just like you would on the sidewalk.
The cops are like a rowboat, like repositioning with an oar.
It's just nonsensical shit that made me laugh so fucking hard.
It just takes you off guard, man. I think that's why I really like absurd comedy. Like it should have just like, I can see, like, I'm old enough now, like, I can see a lot of jokes coming. I want to hear what you guys think about this.
Yeah.
Like, it's really hard to surprise me, usually. And I think that's why, because, I mean, you guys have been through, all three of us are like a comedy aficionados, like, and I feel as if it's really hard to take me off guard. And when someone does and they really hit me without me seeing it coming, it makes me lose it. And I think that's why this movie still holds up, because I'd forgotten about a lot of those little...
Dude, it's easy to forget about them. I think I watched this 3 times before we did this episode just because like I hadn't seen it in a while. Yeah. And every time I watch it, like there's new shit popping out at me.
Oh, it was so funny.
You do find out, too, that the other subplot of this is Queen Elizabeth is coming to L.A.
Yes.
L.A. And so you do find out that the police are going to be on high alert for this goodwill mission for whatever the fuck she's doing, which I found out the actress that played Queen Elizabeth apparently played Queen Elizabeth in several movies. She was kind of a lookalike, and just this is kind of her gig that she did for a while. So,
she did. Her name was Jeanette Charles, and she was known for playing actually Queen Elizabeth when she was younger, like a little bit older, and then like she just kept doing it.
She was like, fuck it.
Because as the queen aged, so did she. Yep. So she still looked like her. It was amazing, dude.
So you do have the information, like, okay, so there's some drugs involved, whatever, but you're gonna have to go to this fucking police briefing about the queen that's gonna be there, and you get another string. Like, it's impossible to cover this movie and put in every joke and every clip in here. So please, in the comments, let us know what your favorite jokes were and all those things. But like,
I'd love to hear
this, just this scene right here. So he's at the press conference. He's going to debrief these people, I guess, on them protecting the queen and whatever's going on with this situation, but his mic's out. So he borrows someone else's mic. It's a wireless mic. And you already fucking know where this is going. You talk about jokes where you're like, you can see it. This was a joke you could definitely see coming just because we've seen so many fucking of these piss jokes. Austin Powers.
And if you notice, he's got 3 pitchers of water and he's finishing the third one off.
Them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's chugging them, and that one that's one of the ones where I was just like, dude, you know it's coming, because I think we were introduced to this on this movie somehow, but the one that stuck out in my head always is going to be the Austin Powers one.
Evacuation complete. Evacuation complete.
See, I always think of the Adam Sandler.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Believe it or not, I went with Shadwick. I thought about the Adam. I was like, did Adam Sandler give Leslie Nielsen credit for this joke?
There you go. Oh man.
Doesn't stop. Yeah, and then he zips his pants up and pisses himself after. And it's all audio too, so it's pretty funny. Yeah. But anyway, same gag.
See any piss.
This one, the hitch is on this one though, that to me brings it a little higher edge, is that he forgets he's wearing the lapel mic. Dude. And so everyone in the conference, like on TV.
And he's farting and singing.
Whoops.
It just starts and stops,
and it's is it the mayor, I guess, that's in there?
It's believe it or not, like for some reason it's the judge.
Okay,
yeah, there's a judge that's sort of in charge of
Shadwick
police.
Judge Smails.
It is not Judge Smails.
It is not Judge Smails.
Yes, who is this Judge Shadwick that's playing this lady?
I don't. Oh. Are you talking about Tony Soprano's mom?
Yeah, there you go, man.
Oh, good for you.
That's when Shadwick, as soon as he started watching this, he's like, holy shit, it's Tony Soprano's mom.
Tony Soprano's mama.
Yeah, and I was watching it being just like, Con!
Every time. Soon enough, he's about to be on screen. In the next scene
look at you,
this.
Big guy. God, I hated her,
dude. So after this is where you go back to the Haba real quick, where this back and forth. This is where you get to see the outline of the body floating in the fucking water that I laughed so hard at. But this back and forth between an informant and Leslie Nielsen is so fucking funny.
The bribery thing,
dude.
The bribery one,
and because the guy says, I don't think I remember any of that, so he gives him $20, and he's like, what about now? And he's like, my memory's still a little foggy, and he gives him $40, and then
I can't tell you that.
Well, maybe this will help.
I really don't think I should.
Yeah, you still don't think so?
All right, his name is Nordberg.
They're just exchanging the same amount of money back and forth for no one gaining anything. I thought that was so fucking funny. And anyway, he finds out, you know, that Nordberg was about to do a heroin bust. That's what he was trying to find out. And
he tells Leslie Nielsen that Nordberg was dirty.
But then he reverses it when he gets he pays him more money for some reason. He reverses it and he's like, all right, I knew, here's where, you know, where this guy is or whatever. So
the guy who runs the shipping yards, he'll probably know more about the drugs and the boats.
Oh God. So fucking funny, man. But this is also the two, where you walk into Ricardo Montalbán's place. This is where you get to see his office, which, by the way, his secretary, the Zucker brothers' mom.
Tattoo? Oh.
Yeah. That's the Zucker brothers' mom.
Dude.
Yeah.
That'd have been so funny.
You got a tattoo from Tattoo.
It's the plane guy.
The plane guy. But
he's not in this movie, sadly.
But anyway, like I said, the Zucker brothers' mom is the secretary for there. So the one that you find out later on, you know, that was
the older lady.
Yeah, that's their mom.
They
put in the movie, which I thought was pretty cool. But so he comes in, he sees the fighting fish, which reminded me immediately of Deuce Bigelow. Was a fish that was
I cannot see that $10 fish.
I know, those little fighting fish or whatever, like without thinking about Antoine LeCunt from Dude's Big Love.
Smelling his toothbrush.
Dude, women, baby.
Speaking of funny piss jokes, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude. So anyway, they have a fun back and forth that involves Leslie Nielsen doing Leslie Nielsen slapstick humor. He kills the fucking fish. He ruins the fucking aquarium. But they do have a lot of plot points here, like, hey, this China is priceless in here. Everything in there is like of super duper value, which comes back later on in the movie.
Yeah, you knew. Like, that's another one I could see coming a mile away.
Yeah.
Like, because Ludwig is bragging about all of the expensive and priceless stuff he owns, and he's literally like, I mean, everybody knows Leslie Nielsen. You know, he's going to destroy it all.
China shop.
Do you like that, Leaf? Where it's hard for you to be surprised? Like, does it make you feel, I don't know, like a sense of superiority, or do you wish that you could be surprised?
I wished I could be surprised. It does not. It doesn't give me any pleasure. It actually takes things down a notch.
Yeah.
When I see things coming and I'm right about things. I think when I was younger, I could be like, I could lean over, you know, to my girlfriend and be like, "This is about to happen."
Yeah.
And you know, like, I stopped doing that probably a couple of decades ago because I
like
just
a couple
felt,
of days ago.
And she's like,
"What?" Yeah, she's like, "I want
what, Lorraine?
I want a divorce. I just met an Olympic athlete."
It was the best sex I ever had.
But yeah, like it feels.
Too bad it was
I
Bruce
love,
Jenner.
Decathlete.
It feels bad, man. Like, I really want to be surprised. I like to be entertained.
See,
He decathlated his d.
Bleep goes the soundboard, snip, snip goes the tape. Can they save this episode, or is it too late? That's Shadwick, he's wild and unchained. That's Shadwick, no filter, no shame. He's a mess, but he's fun, leaving Jaws on the run. That's Shadwick.
Saw it coming, but I like that it's kind of like in wrestling when they set up a table and then you're like, oh shit, someone's going to go through a table, but they don't touch the table for 15 minutes and you forgot about the table and then they go through the table. Like, that's how I kind of felt this was, where it was like they lead into that, but it's much further in the movie before. And it's not really, I mean, it's kind of an afterthought. It's not a big plot point, but it's like, yeah, you know, it's going to happen. But
yeah.
And
they do it good. It is funny because you don't know what he's going to do to it, obviously. So when it happens, it's still funny, and it is surprising to see how it goes down. And it's still, you're right, it's still pretty funny. So like you
do see the look on what's his character's name? Ricardo Montalbán.
Ludwig. Oh
Ludwig. You see the look on Ludwig's face when he's like, he finds out that like Nordberg lived. And he's like, shit. Like, you can see and so, you know, like, now you're like, okay, you know, you already saw earlier on, like, you're like, fuck. So he thought he had killed the cop. And so he's like, shit, you know, has he talked to anybody about anything? You know, he's trying to poke around.
Yeah.
And then, but the most important part of this is you get introduced to Jane Spencer, played by Priscilla Presley, who, I don't know, man, there's some sexiness about this. I don't know. She's a pretty girl.
She's got legs that you just want to suck on all
for a day.
And the best, I tell you what made me laugh about that I appreciate now that I obviously didn't get when I was a kid, but it's the noir style music playing, the old like seedy detective show, like movies and television.
Like when they
shows.
walk into the office, like this dame walked into my, because he's doing the voiceover again, just like that. Yeah,
the narration.
Well, it's like Maltese Falcon. You know?
Yes.
She had a full set of curves and the kind of legs you'd like to suck on for a day.
He's just saying like
nasty
fucked up
shit
and stupid shit.
He wants their payroll to see who was at the dock that night or who could have been. You know, he's trying to get to the bottom of it. You have the line like Shadwick said, the kind of legs on you'd like to suck on for a day. She goes up the ladder. I love the line where he's like, "Nice beaver," and then she's like, "Oh, thanks, I had it stuffed yesterday." And she hands down a stuffed beaver. Like, no fucking reason for that to be there, but again, made me laugh really fucking hard. Like.
That was really good
and they're
one.
back and forth too, where he's like, hey, can you do you want to maybe go grab some dinner? I got this place downtown, blah blah blah. And she's like, I can't. I've got to sleep. I got to get my rest. Tomorrow's Arbor Day. And then for some reason, and then she's like, "Can I get a rain check?" And he's like, "No, we'll just stick to dinner or something like that." Like he's like back and forth.
That's the stuff that cracks me up.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
It's like when he goes in a completely different direction of what the conversation actually is.
And it's that kind of stuff is what Leslie Nielsen was a master at. Man, he'd never break. He just had a straight face doing this shit the whole time, which is what made it. Which was the directors and writers' idea of like, hey, play it straight. So they told Priscilla, you don't have to be funny. Just read our lines, play it straight, and that's it. And that's what works so well.
And to the credit, also like back to the new one coming out. I think not Leslie Nielsen, dadgummit.
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson, thank you, is going to do an excellent job at that too, especially after seeing in the Ted.
Oh, dude,
the scene in Ted, man, like that.
Well, I mean, they did A Million Ways to Die in the West. He was in that with Seth MacFarlane did that. He's been in a lot. But so he gets you see the love interest now after your narration, legs to suck on for a day. She also has this one line where,
hey, that's a honey of an ankle bracelet you have there.
Oh, did it slip down there again?
Yes.
Where was it supposed to be?
That's what I thought too.
It's supposed to be on her wrist.
But it fell to her ankle. Like, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. And it made me laugh pretty hard too. Those, like you said, Chadwick, those fucking lines
Thank
are like,
God you remember that, dude. I forgot about that when it was in my notes to like write down, or I was like writing it down.
I'm telling you right now, guys, this is on Paramount. If you have Paramount Plus, watch this movie, listen to our podcast, and go watch the movie again.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking amazing. So
it's so good.
You do go.
Leslie Nielsen gets.
Go
Leslie
ahead.
Nielsen gets the file and he leaves Ludwig's office, and Ludwig comes like on to Jane and basically tells her, hey, I really want to get down to the bottom of this corruption too. Why don't you keep an eye on Frank for me?
Yeah.
And she's sort of like, I don't know. And he's like, oh, come on. And then she's like, okay. And he's like, that's better. So he wants he wants her to like keep an eye on Frank Drebin. And so now we know the bad guy's spying on Frank.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to get close to him to try to.
You get some lovely slapstick here where you get back at Police Squad where his car he hits the fucking he hits whatever, the airbag comes out and it's like a fucking
keeps crashing.
Yeah, but it's like a fucking balloon, not an airbag. And then they just keep going. He gets out, the airbag puts the car in gear. That I did read a note that they did have to film this like several times. They couldn't get the car after it made the first contact, where you see after he dives out of the way and it hits and crashes. They kept missing the fire hydrant. And so they you can actually see finally when they hit the fire hydrant, it actually kind of stops, and then they cut to where it's like just free rolling down the street, like off to murder someone else, I guess. But
Anybody catch a license plate?
License plate. And as he's looking, as the car careens around the corner, you see his face like change. Like he starts to realize like it was his car.
Yeah. It's so fucking funny, man. So anyway, man. So Leaf, take us back at
those airbags. Like, maybe I don't know. It makes me think of like the gloves at a hospital.
Yeah.
Like anytime we ever went to visit somebody when I was a kid, my dad would get one of those gloves and like blow it up and make like a turkey or whatever.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was. It was just like a latex.
To Shadwick's point earlier about the James Bond or Mission Impossible or whatever parodies here, you do get kind of a small gadget thing here, which I wonder if this was a bigger part of the movie originally or if they just kept it small. But they had this, they have their guy that's making him weapons, whatever, like James Bond, like Q or whatever.
I have an interesting fact about that too.
Okay.
The guy that plays the scientist, when Frank goes into Police Squad, there's cops there, and then they immediately and his friend, obviously, Captain, what is his name? Captain. The captain's there, and so there's a scientist in there, and he's actually one of the only people besides Leslie Nielsen that also appeared in the television show Police Squad.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, so he was. So I don't know if this scene was included just for him, but they kind of made him like Q.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like, because he's showing like
the fucking
like,
anti-spray paint thing from Demolition Man.
Yes,
except for it just sprays them. Man, what the fuck? Like,
and instead of like the knife boots, they're like shoes, but they're like Swiss Army. Like it has
shoes.
like a cork and all kinds of nonsense.
And this, of course, this was one of the ones that got me out loud, man, is the cufflinks or whatever that shoot, toxin in there.
Stun darts.
Yeah, but it doesn't do any permanent damage. And he's like, here, I'll demonstrate on your partner.
Why? Don't worry, he'll be up and around in no time.
As he's like passing out. Another one that got me out loud pretty good.
So the scientist the character is Ted Olson, played by Ed Williams.
Okay.
And he does some research onto Nordberg's jacket after he recovered from the river.
Wakes up, yeah.
And he finds particles of heroin. And so it's looking bad. It looks as if maybe that Nordberg, Officer Nordberg, played by none other than O.J. Simpson.
The book is entitled, God Himself Told Me That O.J. is Guilty.
He was indeed corrupt and guilty of his crimes.
And because of this, now Frank has 24 hours to clear his name.
Yep, or Captain's Cake, which he recovers, by the way, from Big Stud.
What would be really bad, though, is if, like, Nordberg, like, didn't go to prison for this terrible crime, but ended up going to prison later on for a minor crime.
Yeah, I mean, that would be weird. That would probably be ironic, like in the third or fourth movie, you would think.
Well, but the thing about going to prison, there's a hierarchy. And it involves a lot of ass fucking.
My Life Showering with Men, written by O.J. Simpson. You do have on this too I wanted to talk about this because I did this in fucking science class and I did it at a friend's house.
Yeah.
The microscope shit, where I don't know if you guys ever really use those at all.
Where you see your eyelash and think it's something?
No, I would zoom in too far and I fucking broke the slide.
Because they were glass, man.
Yeah, and I did it a couple times where they like zoom in. And I remember, I think it was in school and someone had brought it in or something. They're like, see, you can see this right here. And I like zoom in. I was like elementary school or some shit. It just goes, and I would just I backed it up a little bit and acted like nothing happened. And then I was like, yeah, that's really cool. And then somebody else was like looking at it and they were like, what's wrong with this or whatever? And then they were like, did you break it? And I was like, yeah, what'd you do?
Like, no.
No, they didn't ask me. They asked the kid after me if he broke it.
Hell yeah, dude.
I was like, oh, yeah, probably
well
did.
Played. I also broke one and the teacher is furious, but she never knew it was me because I was the last one in the group to look at the thing. And while she was teaching, I cracked it and I immediately took it out and like put it back in the thing. And she was like, who did this? And I was like,
so
what'd you do?
Me and Leaf were just living the same lie in elementary school. Also, don't give kids fucking microscopes.
we didn't learn anything. We're just glad not to be like having to like remember stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I was worried about fucking what's going on at recess. So anyway, he's got 24 hours. The plot leaving this is after all the hilarity and gags ensue. He's got 24 hours to clear Nordberg's name, or Nordberg can be
easy for you to say.
Yeah, can be falsely imprisoned.
Another stupid fact that I just remembered: his name in Police Squad was Nordberg instead of Nordberg. Yeah, I don't know why they changed that. Obviously, it wasn't played by OJ.
Maybe because it's hard as fuck to say Nordberg.
Yeah, no shit, man.
Right,
especially for Chris. Chris is like Nordberg.
How you say it?
I got fucking soft mouth all of a sudden.
Just take another drink. It'll.
God damn it! Just give me that glass of Bosco.
It was almost midnight when I got to my door. I just wanted a glass of Bosco and then slip under my blankets.
Get the production team with that. You do find out after a man, it cuts to back to Ludwig's place, and a man named Mr. Papschmier is introduced by the Zucker brothers' mom, playing the secretary. And after he shows him his nice invention of hypnosis, where the secretary was ready to kill him, but the gun wasn't loaded.
Yeah.
And then she snaps out of it, and she's like, "Oh, there, so she doesn't remember anything. So now you have the perfect plot of you can hypnotize anybody to be an assassin, and they won't fucking know it." We revisited this in Zoolander, and some other movies after this, but you do get the plot point here. It's $20 million to assassinate the queen. So now you know for sure, like, okay.
Yeah.
And if you guys want a little insight into the reality of this Manchurian Candidate or MK Ultra stuff, check out a book by Tim O'Neill called Chaos.
Okay.
It's basically talks about the Manson family and how they were
maybe MK Ultras. Yeah. I've heard that too.
Shoot. Yeah, I heard Joe Rogan talk about that. Is that the book that he was like?
Yeah, I think so.
On that podcast.
Let's rewind. We just visited the Shadow Realm again.
Yeah, let's go. I'm ready. But Ludwig does own a Manchurian Candidate device that could turn anybody into an unwilling assassin, evidently, and he demonstrates that on Mr. Pap Smear. Which is and that's the scene that Zucker's mom is in, right?
Yeah,
Chris?
that's what I was saying. Yeah, she was the one that was controlled. Yeah, she was in the earlier one too, but just for a second when Leslie Nielsen got there, she introduced them.
She was in that,
but she was in the background. But yeah, the only reason I even paid attention was like, oh, it's their moms. It's pretty awesome putting their moms in a movie. So,
dude, remember she dry clicks a revolver against her skull?
I must kill Pap Smear.
Yeah. Like, wow.
you think Zucker would like check and double check that gun himself? Like,
dude, I'm sure like 6 times.
He like puts it in her hand himself. Like,
right?
Nobody touches this.
Nobody touches this. I'll go. But anyway,
why would an actor not check to see if a gun was loaded?
Boy.
5 inches, but it's thick.
So Frank decides he's going to go back and see if Nordberg, Officer Nordberg, played by O.J. Simpson.
In order to prove to the court how much he loves his kids, O.J. pointed out, quote, "Hey, they're still alive, aren't they?"
Done and done.
Oh God, it's so funny. I thought I was gonna make you spew. I actually looked off camera to see what you were taking a drink when I made it. I was like tactical nuke right there on you. You're too strong. You resisted.
Nice.
But yes. So Frank does go back to check and see on Nordberg, and unfortunately, right before he gets there, one of Ludwig's thugs uses the Manchurian Candidate device to activate a hitman who turns out to be a doctor, Nordberg's doctor. And he just, like, when Frank comes into his room, the doctor's like smothering him, and a battle ensues, a fist fight, a pillow fight even.
And again, though, just, it's silly. It's all silly, but this is a pretty good plot to support all of your jokes throughout this, right? Like you have your established bad guy, you have what he's trying to do, you have the good guy trying to thwart the bad guy. Like it, again, go back and watch Airplane, where you're like, that movie was funny as shit. Not really sure what the fuck was going on in there. There was a plane, and it did land eventually, but the rest of it's just seamless gag. So again, just shout out to these dudes. Really figured out a formula at this point and how to.
You're right.
They
Support
it with a plot.
And I was going to say that too when Shadwick says it slows down, and I was going to say shout out, to Chris's point earlier, because they knew when to like turn up the heat, and it flows so much better than it plot wise than Airplane. Stuff's really happening, but the gags never stop. They just
right.
hit a stride with this movie,
but you can still follow it. And I can tell you when movies like this, so peek behind the curtain when we're editing and shit like that. So Caddyshack, there's. Sometimes it's hard to be like, okay, I remember we talked about this clip. I'm going to put this clip in here. When the fuck is that in the movie? So movies like this, like Naked Gun, make that editing way fucking easier. Or like Fight Club, where you're like, of course this is where the spot is because I know the plot of Fight Club or I know whatever. So anyway, not that they had us in mind when they wrote this movie,
They
but yeah, they should have. This makes life way easier on me when you have a plot line that intermingles with the thing. You're like, oh yeah, that's where that is. Okay, cool.
So after the fight, the doctor flees the scene of the alleged assassination attempt, but not before Leslie Nielsen. Frank just beats up Nordberg during the fight.
How about that fucking 69 scene? And that's really Leslie Nielsen doing that.
His ass is all up in his
fucking face, dude. Oh, Jesus fucking
Heisman
Christ.
Trophy winner.
Oh, so
O.J.
fucking
Simpson
good,
with
man.
Leslie Nielsen's ass. Oh, God. Perfect, dude.
That's not the worst thing he's going to get up to, though.
That's true, man. Dude,
And
that's so fucking funny.
So as the doctor flees, Frank gives chase, and the doctor commandeers a car, and so does Leslie Nielsen. But unfortunately, that car is a student driver car, driven by one young lady named Stephanie.
Yes,
and of course, the legendary instructor of this young teen is John Houseman. Best known for his Academy Award-winning performance as Professor Charles Kingsfield in the 1973 classic The Paper Chase, although Shadwick will remember him as the dignified old man reading A Christmas Story in Scrooge.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I noticed that too. I was like, shout out Shadwick in our Scrooged episode. But I got to stop doing that. I can't stop doing it.
Dude, we've actually gotten so much content. It's ridiculous, man.
We're about to hit 100 episodes, guys.
We will have to stop doing that because every movie reference will have already been covered by us.
You're talking about the guy that's actually reading it like on the show,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Not the old man that kicks the cat.
No, the old man in the chair that's like Masterpiece Theater.
Yeah.
The old man's like Masterpiece Theater, and he's just like, and so like that old man. That actually, believe it or not, that was the last movie. This Naked Gun and Scrooge are the last movies he made, and they both came out after he passed away.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
But yeah, and a lot of his lines and the way he's acting are sort of parodies of characters he's played in the past. So those who are really young probably wouldn't catch that. I know I didn't.
It's okay. Now, normally you would not be going 65 down the wrong way of a one-way street.
Yeah,
but evidently he's sort of parodying some of the characters that he
do
plays.
like the student driver shit. It's fucking hilarious. I thought that was a great gag too. He's making her follow. It's and you have the gag where she goes the wrong way. The truck backs her out. Yeah, and he instructs her to flip her off, and then you get the fucking cartoony look from the truck driver. He's like, "You dumb broad!"
All right, Stephanie, gently extend your arm. Extend your middle finger.
Now extend your middle finger, or whatever. And she just has this determined look on her, like she just looks like a student. It's just funny as shit.
And there one part of that too, I think before that even, where it's like a close up of the tires and there's just like boiling smoke.
Dude. Go for it, Stephanie.
She gets that determined look, like the nerd ready to fucking take it over. And then, so anyway, long story short on this one, they finally catch up to the doctor, and he goes through, which only I can imagine is something that Leaf and Chris wrote in our late teens, early 20s of the 14 million ways to die, like where it just keeps happening. He explodes. It keeps going. He hits a fucking like military vehicle. It explodes. He's on a fucking rocket. And then he's headed into a Chinese fireworks store, which again explodes. And it's just, I don't know. It's just one of those gags that I feel like when you're if you love slapstick, like this is Looney Tunes. This is 100% Looney Tunes.
You think they had some whistling bungholes in there?
They did some Husker do's, Husker don'ts.
And as the fireworks starts exploding, there's Chinese people running out in their full regalia. I was like,
I did notice that.
Frank's trying to tell everybody there's nothing to see there.
Nothing
it's
to
like
see
the
here,
most
which is
dramatic.
funny. Also, that's always like a cop thing. They even do that in South Park. Move along, people. Nothing to see here. Like with Bar Brady. But
So
now
he's dead.
So he's dead. And then Frank does this awesome, like he's narrating when he's walking, which again, this is a Family Guy joke bit this.
And if it was, did he know about it? And if he didn't, who did? And where the hell was I?
Like,
yes,
it's like all these comedies nowadays like have bit from these guys' material. It's just fucking amazing.
I think you and I talked about that like last night or the other night, that it's amazing that when you watch some of these older like genius movies, you'll see a lot of like, not necessarily like always rehash, sometimes exactly almost like, a 1-for-1 rehash joke from this movie or Airplane,
or they got inspiration from it to modernize the joke or whatever.
See, it's the same kind of joke, and a lot of that came from this movie and inspiration.
This is when this narration when he's coming home, which is one of the ones I tried to find. Okay, so apparently he says, he just wanted a glass of Bosco and slide in between his sheets or whatever.
It was almost midnight when I got to my door. I just wanted a glass of Bosco and then slip under my blankets.
I was like, I want wine for this episode, and then I thought quickly of that and said no. But I think what he's talking about, Bosco, is like a white grape or something, but there's actually a wine company called Bosco too that exists now, so you could basically get any kind of wine you wanted.
Well, you talked about how all these like comedy writers now like borrow from this. I would like to challenge our wives to borrow from this and wear our button-up shirts every now and then.
No shit, man. Yeah,
cook me a roast.
Cook me a roast in my Apollo Creed button-up shirt.
Yeah, and
I'm set.
But I got to say, there's something very disgusting about that roast when she holds it up.
She was boiling it. Like,
it's just disgusting.
She's because it's so funny because she's stirring a pot. You're like every man, just like man, when that's so awesome. I've got like a basically a naked girl wearing my shirt, cooking something, dinner. And then she has to ruin it by showing the roast. And it's just
it looks like a brain.
Yeah, so Frank gets home after the fucking Bosco line. His door's open, so you think like, oh shit, it's about to go down.
Somebody's broken
his
his
apartment.
apartment.
And she says that you said we should have dinner sometime. This is now sometime, which I thought was like a funny line. But they do the sexual innuendo of like,
how hot and wet do you like it?
Very hot and awfully wet.
It's just like they're talking these low tones, no emotion, like all
That's
sexual.
That was actually kind of a letdown. That the punchline on that, because she set it up and like I don't know, you could come up with something funnier than just repeating what she said.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like I could have thought of something better.
But I don't know. Maybe it's
20 years.
Maybe that's them outthinking themselves to you think that they're going to go a certain way and then they just go the obvious way.
You've got to throw in like some type of ridiculous comparison. Like, hot as a wool sock.
See, Shadwick, it's not so easy.
Hey, he's 2 glasses of Bosco deep. Leave me alone.
He is. Yeah. Where's his sheets?
Give me 5 minutes.
Yeah. Shadwick's like, I'll be back. No, but so they have dinner together. They're obviously like hitting it off, and they start to fall for each other. Frank, of course, reveals that he's been hurt, and of course, she's been hurt, and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And you do get this montage, which me and Leaf talked about this, and maybe this is something that we'll do on our Patreon content. There are so many similarities to Naked Gun, this movie, and the movie Basketball, Trey Parker and Matt Stone. There are a lot of similar beats. There's a lot of similar jokes.
I had no idea that he directed Basketball.
Me neither.
Yeah, dude.
I'm with you, Shadwick, and I feel ashamed that I didn't know it was him.
I only knew it because I watched so much of that DVD and the behind the scenes shit that I
just assumed
recognized
that
him.
Matt and Trey did everything on
Dude,
on
but
Basketball.
by the way, think about this for Matt and Trey, like a little sidebar. You just got done with your first season of South Park, which they thought was just going to get canceled. They're like, there's no way this continues. And then you get to work with your heroes from Airplane. in a movie.
Yeah.
Like they're like the dudes that, because they were on that airplane audiobook, like it's actually them talking about how much that movie meant to them, and so like then you get to go work with your fucking idols in a movie. Like
you would not say no. It'd be like if Matt and Trey like I asked if we finally made something like really important and good.
Yeah,
it wasn't a podcast living in the shadow realm on YouTube, and they offered to help us with something. It's like there's
quit my job 3 days ago
in anticipation for this moment. Dude.
I was like, just in case. I'm like, here's a 2-week notice that's retroactive to whenever the fuck I want this to go down. But anyway,
it would be amazing.
You do get a fun little montage. The only gripe I had about this montage is this lazy fucking stunt man in the water that takes a shitty back bump when he gets double clothesline. Come on, man. Fucking eat your back bump and make it count.
Something tells me I'm into something good. I'm into something good.
God damn.
It was lame. It should have made it funnier than that.
Put me in Hollywood. I'll tell you if you have some shaved chest continuity and if guys are taking shitty back bumps. Just get me out there.
And also, so you're right. Like, it shows a montage of them going on like increasingly more ridiculous dates. And the funniest one to me is where like evidently they go like to a rodeo and like Jane is like on a horse and it's like kicking and bucking and she's bucked off and then it like cuts and it looks like she was on it. So they're doing like more and more ridiculous dates as it goes by.
She does. They both do a good job too. The facial features on the goofy spraying each other with the mustard and the ketchup and like they're running like smiling. And I think it's like, it's Something Tells Me I'm Into Something Good, I think is a song playing.
Yeah. By Herman's Hermits.
Yeah. And that's the other gag that got me at the end of this. They threw the fucking video credit at the very bottom in the left-hand corner. Like the video, I laughed so fucking hard at that because it's like a music video, like a nod because we're in the MTV era in '88, right?
Yes.
So I laughed pretty hard at that. I was like, oh shit.
Video.
Like, so it was like a music video in the middle of this fucking movie. That made me laugh pretty hard.
After that long montage, which you assume has been, this is the real punchline to the whole thing, in my opinion. He drops her off from one of their dates. And after the montage, which you assume it's been days, if not weeks, she's like, these last 24 hours have been amazing. That got me because I was like,
dude, it was like, it seems like it was like, like weeks.
They went months. On 10 dates. There's like no way they could have done that shit in like 24 hours.
Just fun writing, man. So Leaf, let's talk about this because now he's got to go to the stakeout. He tells her he's gonna be thinking about her. You've got the relationship established.
But Nordberg is still guilty. Still got 24 hours to
he spent his 24 hours to get him innocent, like fucking around with horses and mustard. So
he's got these last few hours he's got like to clear Nordberg's name, and his idea is to stake out and then break into Ludwig's office once again, but when Ludwig is gone late at night, so that he can try to find proof.
Yeah, but so they're eating these things, and it's the gag is they've been there so fucking long that they've gone through like a Costco sized pallet of them,
it's a pile,
and he just opens the door, and they're just like the shells are fucking everywhere. So he's gonna go inside, which this ensues one of the cringy slapstick. Again, ties the knot what we talked about earlier, how valuable everything is in there. He's doing everything so fucking careful, but he discovers this note that says basically that the payment is going to be $20 million for assassinating the queen, but he can't read it, so he pulls out his lighter after he's gone through everything, and then he accidentally lights the paper on fire. Which then accidentally lights the curtains on fire, which then he's going to try to put it out. Then he knocks the bases over. He does which, by the way, shout out Leslie Nielsen. This behind the back vase grab that he has in one of these shots. Dude, well done.
Dude,
also for an older dude, he was fucking stacked pretty good, when he had his shirt off earlier.
This is what I always tell people, man, he went gray like Steve Martin. Those dudes never aged, man. I mean, you could kind of tell when they got like 60 or 70 years old, like you could tell. But man, when you went gray early on, like I don't know why Steve Martin did it, but or Leslie Nielsen for that matter. Maybe it's just genetic and they just did. But I mean, he was ageless, so I don't know how old he was when he did this.
And I don't know if you want to talk about anything in this inside scene. other than, the fire started. You have the bases all break.
Yeah, in particular, there's only one other funny thing. There's an automatic piano playing this ragtime song.
I forgot about that.
Like, so that's actually to me what makes this kind of funny still, because I'm sort of with you guys and Shadwick. The slapstick doesn't really get me as much usually, but like unless it's really absurd.
Right.
But like as he's clumsily trying to stomp out the fire, the note and the valuable evidence in the trash, it's on fire. You're right. He catches the whole thing
stuck in the trash can,
and he leans over and he hits like the automatic piano, and it's playing this ragtime, the goofy piano song. And so instead of just putting that music in as a background, it's like in the scene, which I think makes it like even funnier to me. Like
I can't remember. Is it like an old saloon song? Or?
Yeah.
It sounds just like that. Yeah,
but this is what got me here, and definitely this wasn't in fucking TV. I have to assume he has to escape through the window because
it's not, it was not, because my last time watching it to get ready for this episode was the first time I ever saw this part.
Same to me. Like I feel like this is the first time that I've ever seen this scene. But he goes outside. There's these fucking statues, kind of a la the gargoyles on Ghostbusters, but they're just people. So one is just like this naked woman, which was the only one I noticed in the beginning. I was like, oh, cool, naked woman statue. So he grabs her by the tits to get around her. And then you notice that there's a fucking naked dude. Several of them, when you go back and watch it again, like it's dude, woman. And his dong is just hanging out. So he slips like this woman like yells at him because he goes by her window. And then she like goes to look out the window and he's hanging by the dick. And it's like with his mouth open, pulling up on the dick. Like, and she screams funny.
I lost it. You cannot laugh at that.
Can we get a screenshot of Leaf miming sucking a dick, please?
Yes.
Put it on the thumbnail. Like have Leslie Nielsen behind it.
Dude, that whole scene that she goes in and you get that woman. That woman has an awfully big set of jugs.
She was generously endowed.
And all she was doing is just screaming and gyrating was all her line was. But when he gets back inside, he gets back inside and he's like disoriented or whatever, but he still has a dick in his hand.
It breaks off as he's climbing back in and falls through the window. The lady screams the whole time. She's still screaming.
She looks down and then he's got the dildo or the dick, and now she's screaming again, and then it just cuts that shit. That whole scene.
He starts walking towards her for some reason. He's like, and he's like doing like that. It's like, why? And then and that's when it cuts, and I'm already in tears, man.
Dude, same here. And they give you, I think this is good writing too, which they did talk about, and I hope that I talked about this in the airplane episode. I think I did, where they cut it to a live crowd, so they would see when the laughter would dissipate, and they would cut it that way. I felt like they did this a lot in this one too, because I was laughing pretty hard after this scene, and it was enough beats for me to get back, and then the plot picks up again to where I was like, okay, like they let me breathe and laugh, and then now you find out like the judge is gonna ban Frank from being anywhere near the Queen. She's like, with a dildo, Frank. Like,
also, he burned up Ludwig's priceless,
everything that was in there that was just, he collects the finer things in life,
including the evidence, and he tries to tell her that that Ludwig is trying to assassinate the Queen, but this is a well-respected businessman. No one suspects him of anything. We all know, like the audience knows, he's it's and evil, and he's going to kill her, but like nobody else does. And it's so like the judge is like, where's the evidence? Like he's like, well, it burned up in the fire. So yet again,
he's got nothing.
Frank's incompetence fails again, and now he's banned from going anywhere near the Queen, and so he basically has to return home dejected and ruined.
And then he gets, Jane arrives and lets him know that Ludwig wants to fucking bury the hatchet. So it's like, so you get the point where you're like, okay, so what's going on? I mean, you assume it's a trap because we know. And so I love this scene too, when Frank goes, and the dude's like, he's yelling at the guy, and he's like, yeah, Ludwig has a message for you.
I'm sorry I can't hear you. Don't fire the gun while you're talking.
Guy's trying to kill him. Like, that joke got me really bad.
He doesn't even try to dodge. He's just like,
he's like, what? Yeah, don't shoot the gun when you're talking. But you do get it's like a, what is it, a meat packing facility or some shit?
It's called, ironically, they're making like hot dogs, which you see later on at the baseball game. I think they're called dugout dogs. And it's just this gross meat packing plant. And I want to ask Shattuck what he thought about this scene. So him and Frank and the Ludwig's thug have a shootout and Joe Chill and a brawl, and he falls into a vat of like toxic waste and just zooms in on his head. And I'm like, this is literally the exact same shot from Batman, dude. When the Joker falls in to the vat
this was before, right? So
this was before it. I was like,
Yeah, I got to think they were at least filming Batman when this came out, though.
Yeah,
because it came out the next year.
It did, yeah. What a strange coincidence.
It is. That is that. I mean, because it is a fucking almost a verbatim, and it really, like, this scene doesn't really need to be there.
And again, shout out our Batman '89 episode. But if they were going to borrow something from another movie, I wish they would have borrowed the fall off the building from Die Hard instead of doing the cartoon version that they did.
No shit, man.
True.
As we keep saying, we'll never stop saying. Can't stop, won't stop. GameStop.
So having defeated Ludwig's thug, Frank rushes to. He's assured now Ludwig is the bad guy, and he rushes to the Queen's reception that night where he was banned by the judge and attempts to save the Queen from her imminent demise.
I won't go over every gag, but this one gag where he's letting Captain know what's going on, and he grabs the one guy and he's patting him down, but then he goes to the captain's pockets, pulls his gun out, pulls his wallet out, and he's like, what? Really, nothing's going on? You got a gun here? And he's like, look, it's pictures of your wife.
And he's like, Ethel, and like the captain knocks that random guy out. Dude, that's hilarious. And there's one other, unless Shadow wants to throw one in this scene, it's when, so Frank confronts Ludwig, and of course Ludwig is shocked to see him alive because his plot failed, and
these guys are really bad at killing people.
Really terrible, dude. And so he stomps out of the reception.
Maybe you should have hired O.J. Simpson just from the get-go. This movie would have been a lot shorter.
They're afraid the presence of the family members will just remind O.J. of how much more killing he still has to do.
Officer O.J.
Allegedly.
Simpson.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Want to know why I use a knife? Guns too quick.
Yeah.
And realizing that Jane is the one that set him up to go to that meeting for him to be murdered, he breaks up with her, and they have a knockdown, drag out argument. And at the end, he hits her with a stinger.
By the way, I faked every orgasm.
Yeah. Then the Queen comes out. Frank has the horns blown in his ear. He's disoriented. Ludwig is donating this like musket to, I guess, I don't know if it's to the Queen or to the society that they're at or whatever.
Yeah, it's
and
a
so
revolutionary
Frank is
war.
disoriented. He sees like Ludwig with the fucking thing. He tackles the Queen to save her. They do the comical slide across the table. He's in missionary, looks over with the fucking photos on all the papers and shit. And now Frank is not employed anymore with the police squad. Turns out.
The reporters get like him on top of the Queen in this raunchy shot.
Yeah.
And the next scene, it cuts to the captain reading all the salacious news articles, and he's thumbing through them all.
Dude,
and
yes.
One of the pictures like has like, instead of like him on top of the Queen, he's got her in doggy style, like bent over the table with the same face.
Yeah,
Like
I think for this reason, I believe that this movie was either not released in Europe or these scenes were edited out in Europe. Yeah.
What a bunch of babies, dude. Can't make fun of their fake royalty. They haven't even been a royalty in like whatever.
Even he
man.
says it, he's like, as silly as we think it is to have a queen. Like in the beginning when he's talking about, but like you said, he starts packing his shit up, but it turns out he's not even packing his own stuff up. He's throwing shit away. They have this one gag where he's going through these old files and he's like,
Hey, look at that. The missing evidence in the Kellner case. My God, he was innocent.
He went to the chair 2 years ago, Frank.
So Scott was innocent. They just fucking killed him. And it's just a passing joke that you could easily miss if you're not paying attention. That one was another one that I was like, holy shit. So good, dude. Yeah, man. So anyway, he's fired. But before that, Jane comes in and she's like, hey, like, I was wrong. You were right. Like, he is.
She overheard a conversation between Ludwig and his thugs, and the plot is revealed to her that he's going to murder the queen at this baseball game that day.
Mm-hmm. The assassination is going to take place after the seventh inning stretch.
Yeah, seventh inning stretch, and it's going to be done by a player somehow.
Right. And so you do get the thing too, where she's just like, he was like, shouldn't you be with your boyfriend? And she was just like, I don't like, guys like that. I like cops. And all the other guys are like, all right. And he's like, hey, calm down. But
then she also says that like Ludwig only likes like Spanish men or something like that.
That is true. And so now you go to this baseball game between are they still the California Angels or are they the Anaheim Angels? They've changed so many times that no one cares about the Angels unless they're in the outfield against the Seattle Mariners. And this just goes to Abram and Zucker, big sports fans. You can tell, like, they even have another parallel I was talking about with basketball is when they get to the game and they're playing a blooper reel.
How about that?
And the crowd's like, yeah. But they do have they actually had Joe West, actual MLB umpire that was out there. I think they had a couple of other real umpires. They had Dick Vitale, yeah, baby, from all NCAA.
Yeah, baby.
He was in, they had like 7 or 8 sports announcers like in the booth, which was a joke because I think they had just gone to some 3-man crews and this was like a sports gag, but it turns out they still have 4 or 5.
The guy that
Tim McCarver's in there too.
The guy that's under mind control that's going to kill the queen.
Reggie Jackson was in basketball.
That's a real baseball player, right?
Yeah, that's Mr. October, Dwayne Zachamore. I mean, Reggie Jackson.
Also, don't forget the last announcer, Dr. Joyce Brothers, dude.
No, that's what I mean. Like, it's so funny and absurd, but then you look at announcing now, and it's like there's like 7 dudes in the booth, and there's 14 field reporters, and they weren't very far off from how absurd it got.
And none of them are Dennis Miller.
No, not one. There's a human head in the helmet. You okay, babe?
Not one, babe.
But
dude, we're gonna go for the first and 15 here.
You have the same thing in basketball, which again, there's some similarities there. But so now we get to Frank has got to get on the field. If he's seen, he's gonna get fucking kicked out.
Yeah, he's supposed to be fired. Still.
So he ends up taking the guy, I guess, that's going to sing the national anthem, which I love the scene where he's got him tied up. Yeah, accidentally gets taken to do the national anthem. He butchers that. He goes in the back. So now he's going to get an umpire with a face mask so nobody can see who he is. And so he hits him in the head, and this one janitor walks in, and the dude's just...
Oops. Sorry, fellas.
Yeah. My mistake.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so now he's behind home plate. You have some funny slapstick here where he doesn't know he's got to say play ball. He doesn't know he's got to call balls and strikes.
Well, yeah, so... The one thing that I remembered from this before the rewatch was the one line where he goes, strike.
Yeah. And then the crowd goes crazy and he starts like being a showman with it. Like he's it's obviously a stunt double. He's moonwalking at one point, like doing Michael Jackson shit.
So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, my wife and I, we grew up together, went to school together. There was a rec league umpire, and we still talk about this guy to this day because he would always call it as strike. He had his little like his hand out. He would like shake it like.
He's getting a little peacocking a little bit, man.
Little, jazz hands.
Strike.
Dude,
my dad was an umpire for many, many, many years.
Yeah, Leaf's dad was like in the TSSAA higher ups umpire, state tournaments, and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, he was up there.
Leaf's dad had a funny story. We'll sidebar real quick with Leaf's dad's funny story. I remember he was saying, because I was like, how do you just like, do you never get like just tired? It's like a late day or whatever. And he was just like, yeah, he's like, he's like, last week started raining. They needed to go to the 6th inning, I guess, to get this game in the books. It was like the 5th inning. He's like, I don't want to come back. And he said, the pitcher pitches the ball. It's like 4 feet outside. And I'm like, strike. And he said, the batter turns around and looks at me. And he said, I looked at him. I said, you better swing, son.
He's like, I did a little dance before this game. this rain's not letting up.
Yeah, I can tell you that. There's one thing I know, and it's rain. But yeah, man, he told that story. He's like straight face. He's like, you better start swinging, son.
You won't find a player or coach or an old ass umpire that doesn't like love my father.
Yeah,
and
dude.
he was so mean, dude.
That's what's funny. But there was hilariousness behind what he was doing. But anyway, so
there was
Leslie Nielsen doing his showmanship here, and he's trying to stall because we know in the 7th inning stretch is when the device is going to be activated. And so they're trying to figure out, he's patting down all the players. He's trying to figure out who it is. And all he knows that the memo he got was it was Mr. October, and he already patted down Dwayne Zachamore from the Playgirl magazine. So he knows that that's not who Mr. October was. And shout out basketball.
Shout out. And the whole montage is to Randy Newman's I Love LA. Dude, why does that make me laugh? Is it my brain stained from Family Guy? I love Randy Newman.
I think as soon as Family Guy did the Randy Newman thing, like we were done. Like it opened the gateway of Randy Newman.
Is that Short People?
Yeah.
I
mean, same dude. Yeah. It's just like
guy,
all of his songs now, just I can't hear it other than the Family Guy, like exaggeration. But so he's trying to
well, Matt Stevens.
Yeah. So he's trying to basically like not let it go to the fucking, the 7th inning stretch because they haven't figured out who it is. And so despite his best efforts, it's going to the 7th inning stretch. He gets in an argument with the umpires. He pulls a gun on one of them. Then they're like, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. But it's too late. The score guy's already like rung it up. We're in the middle of the 7th, which we all know the 7th inning stretch is when they stop serving beer. So it's a very sad time in a baseball stadium.
Tragedy.
Oh, you mean fun?
Yeah, exactly. We're already like 16 beers deep, and we're like, "Excuse me, stewardess, can you give me another drink?" And
the queen being assassinated would be only second to them
to us not getting our 9th and 10th beer.
All right, Chris, this is just my fucking uninterested mind playing around, I guess. But every time you guys say Queen, I think about that fucking AT&T commercial they used to play during Braves games all the time.
Queen my dishes.
Yes, Queen.
Queen my dishes, please.
Queen my dishes, please. Oh, clean.
Yeah, I'm glad you could bring that up.
Yeah.
Shadwick's like, we were like on a beeline to end this podcast. Hold on. Here's a roadblock. So throw down some flares. Nobody's getting past this point.
That's Chadwick, he's wild and unchained. That's Chadwick, no filter, no shame. He's a mess, but he's fun, leaving Jaws on the run. That's Chadwick.
Shout out 2010 AT&T commercial or whatever that was.
Yeah, back when used to all be friends and like text during Braves games.
Yeah, before they alienated us and wouldn't let us watch their fucking baseball games. Like, anyway, sponsor our podcast, Atlanta. Anyway, so now it's happened, and any fan of basketball is going to notice that it is Reggie Jackson now walking up in the robotic
Hall of Famer,
style.
Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, that got 2 of his home runs. He
hit 3 home runs in a World Series game. He only got 2 of those balls.
Some wretched little shit got the 3rd one.
So, which is great because they got Reggie back. I didn't realize it was 10 years later when they filmed basketball, so they got Reggie back again. Which I thought, looking back now, that's so fucking cool because they're probably fans of his. So they got to work with Reggie again.
Well,
or
that's
whatever.
what happens when you don't cut someone's fucking head off.
Hey, easy with that. That's my lucky stabbing hat.
Turns out, that you get return business. So, the brawl breaks out. He's trying to stop Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, he tackles him in the stand. The stand's empty, right?
Right.
Like as soon as he because the players just think an umpire's attacking a player, so everybody
there's a pile up. Yeah,
it is pretty clever though that they hid the gun under second base.
Yes, I thought that was good too. Yeah, because he patted everyone down, so you're like, "Who the fuck is it?" And so he gets it out from under second base. You have your pile up. Reggie Jackson gets out. He's still going towards the Queen, and I believe that
doing his best RoboCop impersonation.
Dude, he was. Yes, he was. Yeah. And he's thwarted by, I believe, some hefty bitch from the upper deck that falls or something and lands on Reggie
Frank
Jackson.
tries to, Frank, he's right, and finally, like Reggie climbs up, and he's just like, "I must kill the Queen," and he points the gun at her, and right then, Leslie Nielsen, Frank, uses his stun cufflinks that he got from the scientist at Police Squad, and he misses, and it hits a huge fat lady up in the stands.
When she's falling, and so she lands on Reggie Jackson, thwarting.
She's like, "I'm a big girl."
Yeah,
thwarting the assassination attempt and saving the day. Thankfully,
yes. But Ludwig ends up taking Jane now that he's like, "Shit, I've been found out. My plot. He's not going to get the $20 million." So he takes her as a hostage, and then you have your kind of final showdown that is just.
But as he's dragging her,
is this a sex doll?
Yes. Yeah. Damn it. I was just going to mention that. You noticed it too. You all right. So I'll laugh at that every single freaking time.
Well, it's because I have the exact same model. I mean,
Chadwick's like, "Oh, you got the 87.
I got the 89.
Chadwick's got the whole collection. He's got vintage.
So as Ludwig is dragging his hostage, he's got a gun to her back. As he's dragging her up the stairs, it cuts back to Frank, and he sees his Jane, his girl, getting drugged up by Ludwig, and it cuts back.
He sees his fuck doll being dragged up the stairs.
Yeah. It's wearing her clothes though, so it's so funny, man. He's like,
I knew that was going to be a home run. Chadwick just had a mouthful of whiskey.
I had that bourbon in my mouth for a long time.
Ooh, that one burned, man. But yeah, dude, the sex dolls being drugged behind or whatever. It's just fucking dumb. And you have your, your epic showdown here.
Yeah, your final confrontation. You're right. Which is just as ridiculous.
He finally hits him with the other fucking cufflink. He stun guns him, and then you get your Roger Rabbit cartoon. He gets trampled by, from what I found out, was the actual USC marching band at the time. Right, they have an IMDb credit in there.
That's the last thing that hits him.
Right.
The funniest part was is Frank is just like, because people are like, you killed him when they see him when he sees him stun him, and and Frank's like, no, he'll be fine. It's just it's non-lethal. He'll be fine in a little while. And that's when he tumbles off the balcony of the stadium,
whatever, yeah.
falls through the concrete, and then a truck runs over him.
Then a steamroller.
And then a steamroller.
And then the USC marching band runs over him. And
it's like Deadpool. Like, I'm going to run over you with a Zamboni and whatever, how many minutes.
Or like Austin Powers when the guy's like, no.
Yes.
And like the steamroller's like 14 feet away and he just keeps screaming. But,
why is it so funny to see someone get run over by a steamroller like live action?
We saw it in cartoons so many times, man.
Dude, it's still funny. I laugh every time I see that gag in old movies, and dude, it's so great. You think
if it really happened, it'd be like a roll of toothpaste, like it gets to their head and just like.
No, we're crunchier inside. That's terrible, dude.
That's nasty.
And so as the marching band is stopping over his dead body, one of them hits his Manchurian Candidate device, which somehow survived the steamroller. It's like mashed into the concrete.
It's funny.
It's like, just like him.
It's like Joker's little laughing device after he falls down.
Yeah.
Exactly, dude.
But this actually, did you see Jane get activated and you're like, motherfucker.
The final Manchurian Candidate is Jane, and her mission is to kill Frank Drebin. So she picks up Ludwig's gun and aims it at Frank and doesn't immediately pull the trigger. Frank sees something in her eyes. He thinks that he could bring her back. And they have one of the dumbest pseudo-romantic conversations ever. And hilariously, somebody is filming them, and it's on the Jumbotron.
It's on the Jumbotron, and they end up... They hug and everything's fine. Then the players fighting, they're like, I'm really sorry, man. And then like it starts just cutting and getting more and more absurd from there. Like Muslims and Jews are
like making up. They're hugging. Like it's just
you think anything interesting ever happens on Jumbotrons anymore?
I don't know. You know how I know you're gay? You're at a Coldplay concert.
Yeah, thank you. Obviously, he was not cheating with that girl. He was at a Coldplay concert.
Yeah. Watch 40-Year-Old Virgin. Our episode's coming out soon. But yeah, so that's basically how the fucking movie ends. He's reinstated to the police squad to give us at least 2 more sequels.
Except this was the one physical comedian bit that really got me. When Nordberg is there in the wheelchair.
There's one line in the fucking movie where he's like...
It was revealed today that O.J. Simpson told police that Nicole Brown Simpson used to beat him up. He also claimed that she and Ron Goldman killed him.
I'm better or whatever. I'll be back on the force soon. And then...
Doctor says I'll be back on my feet in no time.
Yep.
Yeah, and he, like Frank slaps him on the back, whatever. And then it's just in the background, like because he starts talking to Jane again, right? And like they're face to face, but you see
everyone should have a friend like you.
Holds up,
just shoots him off, and he flips, and then that's the fucking end, and the fucking music rolls, and I hear it in my head right now. And dude, what an enjoyment this was to go back and fucking watch again. I'll just say, like that
was great.
So much fun. So great to go back and watch. One of the notes that I did leave out that's like, it's just so crazy. It's a dumb throwaway thing. You remember in the professor had the tall guy that was the gag where he's like, you got something on the side of your mouth and it's like half a banana.
Yeah. His name was Al, I think.
Yeah, dude, his name is Tiny Ron Taylor. He went to USC, which had the same marching band, which is what reminded me of it. He played Mountain and Roadhouse and was Rock in Ace Ventura, one of the dudes that kidnapped Marino. So I was like, oh shit. Like, so that was that same dude. Cause I was like,
and I think he is the only other member from Police Squad, the television show that made a return.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yep.
That's cool, man.
It was only him.
Had a good sense of humor about his height. Was able, cause his face isn't in the fucking movie. It's just, it was funny, but, again, this is on Paramount Plus. If you haven't seen it in a while, please go watch this. I'm telling you, you see how much we were laughing, just reminiscing about this shit. So as we always do, man, I want to go through, guys, from Naked Gun, what is your favorite line from this movie? And I'll go first, and it's a little bit of low-hanging fruit, but
nice beaver.
Thank you. I just had it stuffed.
Let me help you with that.
Ludwig and Jane, and Ludwig says,
Drebin,
You're both right.
Leaf.
All right, like I have so many. I have absolutely so many, but it's got to be the one that sticks out to me is where Frank is cleaning out his desk and he finds the missing evidence.
Hey, look at that. The missing evidence in the Kellner case. My God, he was innocent.
He went to the chair 2 years ago, Frank.
It's such a, and the police squad is full of those kind of jokes, man.
Yeah.
Like that, bro. That
Just
was
like
so
throwaway
funny,
too.
man.
Like, so I'll do another one, which is just
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Last one for me.
Destroying property, arson, sexual assault with a concrete dildo.
All right, and my last one for sure is.
You know anything about him? Not much. Just that he's an Olympic gymnast, and it's the best sex she's ever had.
How the hell does he know that?
I did like immediately think of Bruce Jenner when he said that though.
yeah. That's
Like,
funny.
where's he now?
Dude, if it's
Dude, again, funny fucking movie. If you already haven't, like, subscribe, tell your friends about us. I'm telling you, we make great water cooler talk. If you're actually at a place of business, if you're teleworking, just DM your friends and be like, hey, check out this podcast. And if you want to be Rewinder of the Month, hit us up on social. We're on Twitter, Be Kind, Let's Rewind, Instagram, Facebook, on the TikTok, which actually we're kind of popping off on TikTok, which is weird because I don't know anything much about TikTok, but we respect our fans on there, and thanks for listening on there for sure.
Appreciate y'all.
And the thing I know about fans on TikTok is your wives are all in me DMs.
Thank you, Conor McGregor. And we just lost our TikTok audience. And with that, guys, we'll take it over to our Norm Macdonald clip of the week.
Well, it is finally official. Murder is legal in the state of California.